Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Lady Rose of Goddess Garage. Now I just finished doing a live video on my Facebook page, Goddess Garage Tarot Parlor. Feel free to look me up there. That's actually the best place to message me, but you can also leave comments here and I always see those come up as well. But anyways, what I'm here to do is I'm going to be doing a video about the energy that's coming up in January. And by the energy, I mean the astrological movements of the planets. Partly because January is always a powerful month in any year, but it's a particularly powerful month this year. We've just come out of 2020, and as we can all agree, it was definitely a different year than any other we've ever experienced. There were lots of changes in the way we do things, lots of limitations, lots of some good, some not so good things that happened in our lives. Definitely a very weird, strange year. Some of us just want to walk away and forget about it and never speak of it again. And we're a little, like what's going on in 2021 kind of thing. So I noticed that there's a lot of movement happening, a lot of influence coming in the heavens. And as the saying goes, as above, so below, the heavens very much predict what is going to be happening here on Earth, because we're kind of reflections of each other. So the other thing that's happening in January is almost every day something is moving, and some of the big boys are coming into our neighborhood, and a lot of them all at the same time. So this is a big thing. So we can make January a very powerful month, either a powerful month that goes completely sideways for us, or a powerful month that becomes one of the most powerful months of our entire lives. That's what kind of energy is coming in for January. So I'm doing this because, like I said, I just did a live video all about this, but in case people want to listen to it again, because I did give out a lot of information, I did give out a lot of different dates for that session that I did of the live video. So every Monday and Friday I do live videos on my Facebook page, Goddess Garage Tarot Parlor, and I do readings. But today I wanted to talk about the movements of the planets. So, don't be afraid to watch this more than once, because again, like I said, there's lots of energy that's happening, lots of movement and shifts that are happening. And I might even recommend taking a pen and paper to watch this video with. If you need to watch it in chunks, that's okay. I'm not gonna try and make it a super long video, but there's so much information, it might be a little overwhelming. So don't be afraid to watch it like part one and part two or whatever, and make notes, or just watch it and then make notes or whatever. So I'm starting with January 10th. So January 10th, Mercury came into conjunction with Saturn. So Mercury is the messenger of the gods. So it's all about our communication. It's about higher thinking. It's about a lot about our fast thinking, our quick thinking as well. And Saturn often gets a bad rap because he's sort of the disciplinary father of the zodiac. He's all about limitations and restrictions, and he's about life lessons and all the boring crap we have to go through because we, okay, fine. We kind of eye roll sometimes when Saturn comes into town because we don't want to do the things he makes us do. But Saturn does have a positive side. He's about determination, about commitment. He's hardworking. So he brings that out in us as well. So Mercury, like I said, comes into conjunction with Saturn. So just to give you a little rundown of what conjunction versus square. Those are the two I'm going to talk about today, because those are the two movements. There's no other movements. Well, there are, but I'm not getting into those sextiles and things like that. So, let me see. I'm just arranging my papers, making sure I got them in the right order. So when a planet comes into conjunction with another one, it means they come close together and they're almost lined up in some way. So they kind of come into alignment. And so conjunction usually is a favorable thing. It's a good thing. It means they're getting along. They're working with each other. So your Mercury energy, your higher thinking, your communication, your voice, the things you use to voice with, is working with Saturn. So you could maybe find it limited, but normally when it's conjuncted, it's a good thing. So it means that you're stepping out of being quiet, maybe. Maybe you're speaking up now. Maybe you're being more compassionate and speaking for those that don't have a voice. It may be that if you're a business owner, that you're finding that message that just nails the right place for that new client to come in or that new customer to buy from you, that sort of thing. So you'll find your messages come in a lot stronger for business and things like that. Now, that's the 10th. It came in yesterday. So when a planet squares off, it's kind of like two cowboys and they got their, gun belts on and they're having a duel. And so the two patterns or planets, when they come to square, it means they're fighting. So think of cowboys with their guns, they're having a duel. So they're not always working with each other. They're more working against each other when they square off, right? That's maybe where that term came from. They're squaring off. I don't know that, so don't take that as truth about the squaring off thing. But then January 12th, which is tomorrow, Mercury also comes into conjunction with Jupiter. Saturn and Jupiter are some of the big boys in the zodiac and in our solar system. Jupiter is actually the biggest planet in our solar system. Now, Saturn, as much as he's the sort of disciplinary father, I often say Jupiter is the fun uncle, and he's the fun uncle that'll slip us $10. Here, go buy yourself something nice kind of thing. So, and he's about luck. He's about expansion. He's kind of happy-go-lucky. He's about growth, that sort of thing. He's more jolly than Saturn is, for sure. And because these three planets are sort of in alignment and close to the sun right now, it's a triple conjunction, which is very, very powerful. So your voice is expanding, hitting new customers if you're a business person, and it's also on point. So now's the time to get some of those messages out, campaigns, ads, whatever you want to call them, kind of thing. So also during this time on the 12th, over the next little while, expect important news, important announcements, and breakthroughs. And this is both on a business and a personal front. So you're going to be getting a lot of news, a lot of important announcements, and some breakthroughs perhaps, because these three planets are in conjunction. So then that's the 10th and the 12th. January 13th, we have a new moon. And, moons are important. Definitely, stay aware of where the moon is because it does have influence. Now, the new moon is all about starting new things, new beginnings, planting those seeds for a new idea, situation, project, or, doing the next step, the next level, whatever it might be. So on the 13th, we have a new moon. And this is a very important new moon. One, because it's the first new moon of 2021. And the first new moon, whatever it might be, in whatever year, is always the most powerful new moon. So this is a powerful new moon that's also surrounded with a lot of powerful movements that are happening in the heavens themselves. So this new moon is in Capricorn. And this new moon, unlike a lot of the new moons last year in 2020, which were about resilience, because that's definitely the theme of 2020, being resilient, this new moon is about renewal, starting afresh, starting again, clean slates, all that good thing. I put the phrase, think phoenix rising from the ashes. The travel industry is supposed to improve as well. So it's going to get better, which is good because I like to travel and I would like to travel outside of my own living room. So on the 13th, like I said, the new moon is in Capricorn. And the reason why I'm bringing business into it is because it's in Capricorn. And if you've ever met a Capricorn, there's a few things you know about them. 1, they're very serious. 2, they worry a lot. 3, they love their career, their work, their job. They're often self-proclaimed workaholics. Their work is who they are, very much so. And they love to work. So the progress and the process on the 13th will be very intense. So get ready to make those plans, to start moving them forward and to keep moving them forward, because it's going to get even more intense all the way through January. Now that's the 13th. Then on the 14th, Uranus goes direct in Taurus. So this is a very intense movement as well, because the Uranus goes direct in Taurus, and it's basically the divine go-ahead to do whatever it is you need to do to be where you want to be. But the only catch is you must be authentic. You really have to be coming from your higher self. So embrace that Mercury energy that's in Jupiter and Saturn and conjuncting with them to really do some exploring of who you really are, what you're really wanting to do, what you're really about, what your true strengths, what your true weaknesses are. You know, like, it's not a time for, oh, it's okay. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's not okay. And if you start saying it's okay in this energy, things are going to go really sideways. So be honest with yourself and with others, what you need, what you want. Be vocal with what you need too. No one can read your mind. So let them know, because sometimes, you know, we think, well, they should have known I'd wanted that. It's like, no, you didn't say anything, so you got to talk. So say something diplomatically, like don't come at them all ready for a big interrogation or all ready for an argument or anything like that. Diplomatically state what you need. It's a statement. Try to take the emotion out of it. But be honest with yourself. What is it you really, really want? And dream big, and I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. So January 14th, like I said, Uranus goes direct in Taurus. Taurus is about, it's called the builder of the zodiac, right? They love to collect things in a very aesthetically beautiful, pleasing way. They're not like Cancers who collect things just because they want to collect things. Tauruses are very particular about what they collect. You'll find if you go shopping with a Taurus, they'll buy the more expensive thing, but also the more quality thing. It doesn't always have to be an expensive thing, but often expense equals quality. Not always, but a Taurus is discerning enough to know whether this sale is really a good sale on a quality item or whether it's just a sale on crap. So if you ever want to, you know, if you're buying a big thing like a car or house or a couch or something like that, take a Taurus with you. They'll pick the best one out for you. They're very good at that. So anyways, like I said, they're the builders. So now's the time that you can really start to build things and allow the Jupiter energy that's in your Mercury right now to allow you to expand. But handle it with care, because it could blow up on you if you're not truly honest and authentic with yourself. That's the key right there. So if it's going sideways, it might be because you weren't truly truthful with yourself. Now, so that takes us up to mid-January, January 15th of 2020. The sun comes into conjunction with Pluto. Okay, so Pluto, although it's not considered a planet anymore, it's now, I think, a dwarf planet. Not sure about that. But even though it's small in size, in astrology, it's the biggest boy you can bring in onto the chart. He is a big boy, and he has big influence. Major world events happen when Pluto comes into the neighborhood. Wars start to happen. He's got some darkness about him. And he tends to affect generations. He definitely has an individual impact as well, but definitely he is a big boy to be working with. He's coming into our sun, so that softens his darkness a little bit. But what I've said here is, first of all, it's not going to be an easy transit on January 15th. So January 15th, you might find yourself not feeling quite right. You're a little off somehow. Know that this is the Pluto energy that's affecting you. He's coming into your sun, and your sun is you, who you are. So the sun, ourselves, will bring light, because that's what the sun does, into the shadows of Pluto. But Pluto will stab at the heart of ourselves. And this is why I was pushing so hard to be truthful and authentic with yourself about what you want, what you need, all those kind of things. Because if you've lied to yourself on the 15th, Pluto's going to stab you right in that lie. So it will really hurt. and he, well, like I said in the last video, Pluto can fuck you up if you're not aware of this energy. Part of, working with this energy and controlling this energy is being aware of it. So on the 15th, Pluto comes into town. So get comfortable with some shadow work, get comfortable with what you're not good at and be okay with it. Bring self-awareness and be very aware of who you are. Because as much as we have weaknesses, we also have great strengths. And don't deny your strengths either, because Pluto will stab those if you've been lying about them. So be aware of who you are, and not in a boastful, conceited way, just in a, this is what I'm good at. Maybe you're good at piano, maybe you're good at numbers. Own what you're good at, but also own what you're not so good at, and be comfortable with both. You have to bring awareness, authenticity, and honesty to this. So I underline that again. Authenticity and honesty. When handled well, it brings huge empowerment. Like I said, January can be a life-changing month. Maybe even the most life-changing month you'll ever have. It's a time to step into your true, powerful self, if you're aware of the energy and if you work with it. Now, don't be afraid if things start to go sideways. You can always correct, right? Because part of working with the energy is being aware of it. So if you start going sideways on something, okay, I'm not working with this energy. I got to change how I'm doing something, how I'm viewing something, maybe meditate and sort of explore what is it I need to change. Maybe you'll hear a message. You can also get a tarot reading, whether it's from me or someone else. I do encourage tarot readings during this time just to be aware of perhaps what you need to focus on, what you need to change, or what you need to be sort of underlining in your life, that sort of thing. Now, January 18th. So we talked about January 15th. January 18th, Jupiter squares Uranus. So Uranus is ruled by Aquarius. So Uranus is very powerful right now because we're going in and we're in Aquarian energy. And when it's under its own natural leader, it's more powerful, right? Its own natural follower. Or leader, I mean. Ruler. That's the word I'm looking for. Ruler. Okay, so remember what I said about squaring? So Jupiter, the lucky uncle, squaring off with Uranus. And this actually is the second most important transit of the year. And transit is movement. So movement of the planets into these positions. So Jupiter squares off with Uranus. And it's a small, brief transit, thank God. So it's not terribly long, which is good. Friction will happen, though. There will be friction between the old and the new. And Jupiter, if allowed, can bring changes and sudden changes of fortune. Now, it could be good or bad, depending on how you want to think about things, view things, manifest things, that sort of thing. So be aware that Jupiter's there. He can change your fortune starting on the 18th, and it can be very good for you. But be aware of Uranus's energy as well, and be aware that there might be some friction. And this is sort of friction you can't really avoid, but don't necessarily engage in it. Don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. Be diplomatic. Try not to act emotionally or react emotionally. Take a step back if you need to, in order to really kind of see things from both points of view. Libras are very good at that, so they should be able to handle this friction time quite well. You might feel a little stressed because you're finding you're stepping back and back and back if you're a Libra kind of thing. Then January 21st, Mars comes into conjunction with Uranus, and Uranus is in Taurus right now, or is going to be in Taurus on January 21st. So this is good. Again, so this is a very powerful day, actually, January 21st, where Mars comes into conjunction with Uranus, because Mars is about our aggression, our anger, how we handle conflict, things like that. So Mars, as you may or may not know, is the god of war. So sometimes when Mars is really influencing us, you'll find we fight more, we're looking for fights, that sort of thing. But Uranus, which it's conjuncting with, is in Taurus. So this could help soften Mars a little bit. And what I mean by that is because Taurus is naturally ruled by Venus. So in mythology, if you know your stories, and you know, we learned them back in high school, so maybe we've forgotten some of them, but this one I do remember. Mars and Venus were lovers. And Mars was head over heels in love with Venus. He would do anything for her. He was her side thing, though. She was actually married to the underworld, the god of the underworld. She didn't like him. Vulcan, I believe it was. She didn't like him. He was mean and, you know, not fun. She didn't want to be in the underworld. She's Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. So she didn't want to be down there. So Mars helped her escape, I guess, once in a while, but they would go off and have their little love affair. And she is, like I said in the last video, she's kind of like I can't remember the name of the superhero, I feel so bad, in the Avengers. She's the one that can talk the Hulk down. Do you remember that one? Put it in the comments to remind me of who she is. I can't remember who she is, but she's the only one that can talk to the Hulk and he'll listen and he'll calm down. That's what Venus is like for Mars, because Mars blows up and gets out of control and la la la. Venus can talk them down, she can smooth them out, and that sort of thing. So that's the benefit of this energy. Again, being aware of it coming in on the 21st. And this hasn't happened since 1942. So you might find this is a new kind of energy that we haven't experienced it. Because I know I wasn't around in 1942, and I'm sure there's many of us that weren't around in 1942. So this is going to be a new kind of energy that we haven't really felt or experienced before. So there's two things with this energy. There's the sideways version and there's the upward and positive kind of version. I'm going to give you the sideways version first so you can become aware of it. So it's extremely powerful because you're bringing Uranus, which is a big boy, and Mars, who's sort of the first of the big boys, but he's not really a big boy, but he's the god of war, so he's not to be messed with, obviously. But it's extremely powerful, and if allowed, things will explode. So know that things will explode, and not in a good way. You may find yourself and others raging. So it's more than just frustration, being irritated. That all comes part and parcel. But you'll find maybe yourself and others are raging hardcore. And some of these fights might come out of nowhere. It's like all of a sudden, whoa, someone's in my face. You might find there's more road rage, there's more fighting happening at work or at home or whatever. And also you might find there's actually more violence or things escalate into violence. And it's the Mars energy that is influencing that. So being aware of that energy starting on January 21st, know that you will not let your Mars rule this time. You will let Venus in Taurus rule more. Allow her to come in and soften that beast of Mars. So the positive way, so when you're going to witness all of this stuff, and you might find that you blow up and it's like, okay, I got to take a step back. So now's the time to really step back. Don't engage. If you see someone else raging, know that this is Mars, this is the Mars influence, and they're letting that Mars influence happen because they're not aware of that energy. So sometimes we get angry and we're not even sure why or whatever. It might be because Mars is influencing us right now. So on the 21st, it's going to influence a lot of people over the next couple of weeks kind of thing. So don't engage and allow whatever rage they need to get out, but don't try and necessarily go, oh, you're wrong for being mad or upset or whatever. Because just let your Venus come in and be diplomatic about everything that you get involved in. Maybe because you might be involved in a fight you're not wanting to be involved in. Tend to take the I'm going to walk away to fight another day attitude, no matter how much they rage at you. Don't let them push your buttons, because then you're letting Mars rule you as opposed to Venus. So the way it can be constructively used, this energy, because it's very, very powerful. Mars also gives us drive and motivation. So that's the good side, the more positive side of Mars. And Uranus gives us inspiration. It's the planet of inspiration, novelty, innovation, inventions, things like that. That's what Uranus is all about. So if you let this, and you're aware of this, you can use Mars to drive you and motivate you, and Uranus to inspire you, and Venus just to bring beautiful things and love to situations. And this is when you can achieve what you never thought possible. So earlier, like I said, when you start making those plans for the rest of your year, perhaps the rest of your life, for January, make them big. Remember I said dream big? Dream big, because starting January 21st, those big things are going to start happening. But you have to start planning them before then. So the 21st, if you use that energy positively, you can make the impossible possible in your life. Something you thought would never happen will happen if you allow it. Now on the 24th, the Sun comes into conjunction with Saturn. Okay, so that means it's coming together with Saturn. And Saturn, like I said, the positive side of Saturn, and the Sun tends to, because it's us, and also, you know, the sun's the sun. Everyone loves a sunny day, right? So the Sun tends to bring out the positive aspects of a planet, even when squaring with them, but in particular when coming into conjunction with them. So your Sun is coming into conjunction with your Saturn. And Saturn is the planet of hard work. The positive side of it is hard work, determination, commitment, and mastery, because he's all about the mastery of things. So one thing you need to know about Saturn too is great things have only ever historically been built when Saturn's in the neighborhood. You think of the big, beautiful things that have happened, that have been built in the world, Saturn was probably close by. So for you, starting on the 24th, that's when big things will be built in your life. Now, whatever that might be, whether it's a relationship, a new career, a business, health, whatever it might be, this is the time to start bringing that in and making the actions, not just the thoughts, the actions of that happening. Because the 24th is when big things start to happen and be built for you. So you can build your health, you can build your business. This is the time to build your relationships. It's a good time to mend relationships if there's something that needs to be mended. A good time to fix situations and make the situation even better, whether it's at home or at work or wherever it might be. But Saturn's there to help you along. And you've already been told you've got the divine go-ahead to do whatever you need to do, right? So this affects you on the 24th as well. Now on the 29th of January, your Sun also comes into conjunction with your Jupiter. So you've got two of the big boys in conjunction with your Sun. You, directly aligned with you, mind, body, and soul. So remember I said Jupiter's kind of that lucky uncle that slips you the $10. Well, Jupiter is also about our higher truth. So remember I was saying earlier, you have to really look at yourself with authenticity and with honesty, make your plans from an authentic place. Well, it comes all to a head on the 29th because Jupiter is all about your higher self. And this is, on the 24th, is a great time to formulate and to bring in your big dreams, to really, it's starting to, you're seeing actual movement towards that. And you have to have most of it done by the 29th. So if you're in business, for instance, do your business plan now. What do you want to do this year? What are your goals? Set your goals, set your timeline for whatever your ad campaigns might be. Do it now before the 29th or finishing up by, midnight on the 29th. And there's a reason why I'm pushing that so hard. And you know, same thing with your situations. It doesn't have to be done by the 29th, but movement has to have started, and you have to have a plan in place by the 29th, whether it's personal, career, professional, health-wise, whatever it might be. Have it in place by the 29th. You'll start to have seen movement starting on the 21st, and it's a good sign that you start seeing movement as well, because two things. One, on January 30th, the first Mercury retrograde of the year starts. Okay, so when you're setting goals, when you're writing out your plans, that sort of thing, all your communication is going to be accurate and achievable, no matter how big you think it's ridiculous, and on point. After that, you're not going to be writing in the same way, if you kind of get what I'm saying. So try to do this all before the 29th. And I know I'm working on mine. Because like I said, on the 30th, the first Mercury retrograde starts. Now, Mercury retrograde gets a bad rap. It can be a good thing that you can use. But I'm going to talk about it on another video because I've already taken up enough time talking about what's going on in January. But also, to a little heads up in February. February is a month to not expand or grow. It's going to be more of a month to hold fast, hold on to what ground you've gained, because if worked right, you'll have gained some ground in January. But February is a month of rest and reflection and holding fast. Don't move. Don't stop. You know, like, don't try to expand, and grow in February in particular. Now, if you want to know more, sort of custom to you, you can always get a tarot reading with me. Until January 30th, I am doing my New Year's spread. I only do it December and January of every month, of every year. And what I do is I look at all the months of the year for you, and I do a triple layer reading for each month. So I'm looking at the energy, I'm looking at the theme of that month, what might be coming in, I'm looking at what action needs to happen in that month. And I'm really accurate on those readings. Last year's was extremely accurate, and I'm always getting messages from past clients who I've said, oh my gosh, you called it for whatever in every single month. And I have a lot of repeat customers for that one. In fact, some customers will get a reading for this year, December or January, and they'll book their next year's already because they know it can be hard sometimes in December, especially December. December seems to be really busy, and the first part of January. The second part of January, people are starting to wane a little. So there does tend to be more open spots, but December is next to impossible to get a spot because my regulars have already booked up December for me. And they start months in advance if they don't just book it right off the last year's reading kind of thing. So that's what the activity is for January. All the heavens are moving and a lot of powerful energy is coming in. I wanted to do this, and I'm going to be doing more astrology type stuff because I wanted you to be able to take advantage of this month because it is so big and you can do so much with it. So good luck with that. Please reach out and let me know how things are going for you. If you've achieved something big, let me know that. Either say it in the comments or reach out to me through my Facebook page. I'll put the link below for my Facebook page. If you want to support me to help me be able to produce more of these videos, I would appreciate a donation of any size. I'll put my Ko-Fi link there, or you can go to my Etsy store and make a purchase. Whatever you want to do, please help support me so that, like I said, I can keep doing these things. So merry, wise, and gentle be, and stay safe out there. Lady Rose, signing off. Bye.